Let me just let y'all know something right quick. There's a lot of when dealing with certain topics, certain individuals that you've seen over time, and you understand their past and stuff. Um, there's a lot of emotions in a sense there because you know how it is that they, in a sense, see you, or better yet, see black men and young black boys. Um, so this is probably the calmest that you're going to hear me talk when it deals with a divestor and how it is that they carry themselves and whatever message they're trying to portray and different things like that. But anyways, throughout the whole conversation, at any point in time, please let me know what you guys think and feel about what it is that I'm stating. If you got a point, if a point was made, or if you can follow, anything that I'm saying. I plan to hopefully make this video as short as possible. This is an individual that I made a video about before because there were quite a few problematic things that were going on. This individual is also what is known as a divestor, and she is a proud one at that. So this is not me trying to state anything negative. This is something that she embraces. She also wrote a book and created a whole platform delving into and around the divestment, which means black women removing themselves away from black men and going elsewhere, right? And there was a variety of different types of content that she put directly up there, but then this one came across my computer screen and it looked a little bit weird to me. And as I stated to people before in the caption, something don't look right. I just can't put my finger on it. And if you happen to look very closely at the picture or whatnot, it looks okay, right? You just see black women in dresses, and it's like, okay, maybe it's just a photo that Trump took. But when you look at Trump, you notice that something doesn't look right directly with Trump itself. You can look directly at the hands and it looks pretty weird. You can also look behind Trump and it seems as though that there is an image of a black woman that is being blocked out by way of Trump, which would seem very weird for a photo op where it's supposed to showcase black women supporting Trump. Then, if you look to the left of Trump, you see a black woman in a dress. You look directly at her hand, you will see that she has six fingers, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. I'm sorry. She has seven fingers to be exact. I actually miscounted. So I'm not sure if she would come from the book of Enoch or if she is the child of some form of Nephilim. But there is no human way possible that you automatically have seven fingers, which basically is telling everybody, if they're paying attention, that this is what AI generation looks like, right? AI has come a long way. It's, still in the baby step phases, or at least what we're given the version of AI of. And this is some of the main things that you can just so happen to see. So this is why when AI photos are present, people tend to crop out the hands, because that is the number one telltale sign when it deals with AI generated photos and or videos. The other thing that I found problematic by way of her page is the fact that she had this image here, which is quote unquote a DreamWorks version or a mock up of what it would look like if they decided to do a story of George Floyd. And, this is in a sense a type of mockery of a person that ended up passing. Like I said, regardless on however you disagree or whatever your interpretation may be, it's the fact that a loss of life did happen. And to see somebody who is as melanated as her deciding that this is the type of stuff that she wants to do is completely crazy. But the other thing that I want to note as well is that it's not only just her. She is, in a sense, at this point in time, for the purpose of this video, she is the face of what it is that I'm describing or uh, talking about. But there are other women just like her who feel the exact same way about black men in general. where it is that women like this have a preference, or they make whatever deals that they have to make, and they go over to the other side to receive whatever trinkets or jewels or whatever it is that they feel that they deserve, and in return, they are meant to and supposed to do things like this. And I want to remember, and I want other people to remember, that these exact same women are supposed to be happy on the other side, right? Once you're on the other side, you're supposed to be specifically just focused on those groups of men. You're supposed to be just focused on those families, over there. You really shouldn't be saying anything about the black community. You shouldn't be saying anything about black men or young black boys or anything like that. You shouldn't really have anything to say, because now you are removed. You have protection from a whole nother group of men, a whole nother community, because a lot of them will tell you that, quote unquote, they were never protected, or that black women aren't protected in the black community, and that lack of protection comes from quote unquote black men. And because of that, this is why they do things like this and create images such as the Floyd story image, on top of saying a great deal of horrendous things that I've highlighted to you guys over the years, that they've openly stated on podcasts.
They're weak. They're dominated. They're a bunch of baby daddies, again, who only raise values in prison. The only place they add value to is prison. Do the prison stocks not go up as they get incarcerated? Because I believe in birth control Like, I finally get it. How the can you give birth to something like this? Look it in its face. Feed it. Change its diapers. Send it to school. Buy clothes for it. Cook for it. And not realize you're feeding a demon.
Here comes a new challenger!
My what I want to say down, because I don't want to be all over the place, and I feel safe now that the Dusties are in the gulags. So
Oh yeah, I closed the room, so it'll just be us for some time, and then if nobody doesn't have anything to speak, I'll bring you down. Then I'll open up the rooms again.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let me see. Where's my note cards? Well, when I look at the title, White Man Appreciation, 1,000 Reasons Why White Men Are Better for Black Women. Well, my response to that, and also my story about that is, well, first off, we aren't slaves anymore. Love is love. White men love education. My boyfriend and I are both in college. He's an econ major. He's a precious person to me.
For all my beautiful black queens that are so infatuated with dating a white man, do your thing, sis. I hear you. All right, hooray, because the other side ain't much better.
I was wondering why no one thought to say and voice their opinion that when I look at these white men, they are the epitome of masculine, and watching some of these police officers manhandle these black men in the street is very attractive, and it's a turn on, And I'm wondering, does anybody else feel like that?
Hold on.
Yes, Lord.
Y'all off the chain, okay? Y'all are off the proverbial chain.
That's Discord talk.
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Discord talk.
I was like, why has nobody said that? Because I'm like, that's masculine. You talk about masculine.
We say that all the time in Discord, Tanasia.
You say that for the back.
Yeah, you have to save that one for the back room when we got the door closed. I can't with y'all.
We use the hard R for long.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about, we say the hard R so hard, it sounds like we growling back there around this.
So again, I'm just a little bit confused on somebody with such a checkered and confused past can decide to make a lot of horrible statements. They want to, in a sense, profile, or they want to severely try to just highlight, hey, look at what black men are doing. right? Now, again, as I stated to you before, this is what they are supposed to do. You're not going to see them highlight anything of which or what their preference may do negative. It's going to be a one-off type of thing. It's like, well, he's not a part of the majority of those guys. That's just him. That was just this guy. They're not even going to say the branding of what the man is. They were like, oh, well, it was just this guy. He's not representative of all of these men directly over here. But when it comes to women like her, they will turn and they'll sit up there and say, like, okay, you see what these three black men created, committed this crime. This is all black men. And then to further quote unquote prove that stance or that point, you will see them repeatedly just put out and look for the exact same stories time and time and time and time and time again, up until they basically have a whole page basically quote unquote proving the stance that they made by those specific stories of those specific black men. Again, whatever she is, selling is not indicative of every single black man or young black boy, directly out here. And again, somebody like her is not going to go to a historical standpoint where we have a whole bunch of information, we have a whole bunch of proof, and a lot of the historians are of the preference of which she loves. But she's not going to use that information historically, along with those numbers, to showcase the type of violence and crimes that have been committed by way of the men that she loves.
Talk about black killing black. Okay, but then let's talk about whites. Let's talk about whites killing whites killing blacks, whites killing Asians, whites killing gays, whites killing anybody that's not white, and then also whites killing white people. Let's talk about whites who are child pornographers. Let's talk about white pedophiles. Let's talk about white human trafficking rings. Let's talk about white drug dealers. Let's talk about white corporate crime. Let's talk about white serial killers that are shooting up churches, shooting up movie theaters, shooting up shopping malls, shooting up children's schools. Let's talk about the white deranged people that hide children and women in their basements and chain them up and keep them enslaved and abuse them and beat them, okay, and then impregnate them for years. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the white terrorists, like just what happened January 6th at the Capitol building. Let's talk about all that. Let's talk.
And then the other thing that I ended up learning, now I could stand corrected, but I saw an image directly on her page of a child. And I do remember in one of the stories that I covered that she does have a child by way of her preference. And her preference is no longer there, at least that guy, right? She might be with somebody else at this moment in time, living happily ever after. But she has a son, nice kid. And I'm just trying to figure out, how does her rhetoric work if she has a son that is coming from two different sides? So it is a male, correct? And by way of you being quote unquote a melanated black woman, that would in a sense make him a black male as well. But I know a lot of people would just tend to say that, well, he's just biracial. He's not even, this or that. And again, I'm just trying to figure out how that works with a child, because now it's going to come to a point of trying to disassociate a portion or a part of themselves in order to feel loved, in order to feel cared about, in order to feel like they are not a representative of what it is that the parent, who is the mother, a black woman, is stating about black men. And there's going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of muddied emotions. There may be some type of resentment. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of things that will come up over time. And not even just that, but you also have the aspect of the young man growing up, and he is amongst other people that don't look like him, on top of the fact that he has to deal with a whole other side of his family that is not even reflective of his mother. um, and again, going from experience of knowing family members and knowing how they have been treated by way of the opposite family, he's going to be going through a lot of stuff. he's going to have to hear a lot of stuff, even being amongst other people that don't look like him. They're going to be like, well, we don't really see you as this, so we're going to talk like this in front of you about them, right? Trying to basically tell him, like, well, you're not exactly them, so it's okay for us to say this and to speak like this in front of you because you're, in a sense, kind of, sort of, one of us. So it is what it is. Like I said, it's a whole thing. It's a whole confusing type of deal, and I'm saddened for a lot of the kids that are going to have to grow up and deal with these circumstances that they did not themselves specifically ask to be a part of or to be in. And the main thing that, I try to tell people is that if you want to live a selfish life and you want to do the things that you want to do, so be it. Hopefully things work out directly for you. But amongst all of those feelings that you have, don't be so selfish as to now bring a whole child into the world that you're not prepared to properly teach, because you can't really properly teach them because they are from two separate halves. So that's two different types of history, of bloodlines that they have to now make sense of, that you never had to, in a sense, do. And in a lot of instances, a lot of these kids end up some of the utmost confused when it deals with who it is that they are, where it is that they belong, who it is that they identify as, how the world basically sees them, and also how it is that they see themselves. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated, in the comment description below. I'm not sure if a point even got through, at this moment in time, because my mind is in a sense, everywhere when it deals with this woman here, and everything that she puts out, and how it is that she talks about black men in the black community. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video if you made it this far in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.